Hello, and welcome to another episode of Beer Man's Noble Beer Reviews. So I have to admit, today has been a really long day. I went to Fonta, Flora in the morning to get a wristband for their bottle release. Got it right there. And then I drove to Old Hickory to pick up the Spectrum bottles, and then I went to another random brewery up north from Hickory. I honestly can't remember what it's called. I'm sorry. Beer was not very good, but the food was good, so it was at least worth going to. And then went to back to Morganton, went to Catawba because Fonta Flora was not open yet, and then I went to their homebrew shop down below because they weren't open yet. And then I finally went to Fonta for the Fonta Flora release. They released their Urban Monk variants and also Big Shrug and Need a Hug, which I will probably be reviewing shortly on this channel, but that's besides the point. This is a collab that the only reason I said that is because it had to do with Fonta Flora. This is a collab between Fonta Flora and Burial that was released a few weeks ago, actually at Salute Bottle Shop in Charlotte. I wasn't able to make the release because I went to Resident Culture instead. But one of my buddies, who's also from Pittsburgh, was kind enough to save a couple for me. And I had it on tap at Salute, and I thought it was great. So I asked him if he could snag me a couple cans because I wanted to do a proper review of it on this channel. So that's the gist of why I have this can. But anyways, it's called Pinnacle of Dreams. It's a Rye Lager. It's a collaboration between Burial, Fonta Flora, and Riverbend Malt, which I think is in Asheville, if I'm correct. I think I read that today. And it's you probably can't see it there, but it's 5.5% alcohol, which from a random lager, that sounds about right. But when I had this on tap, I loved it, so that's why I wanted to do a proper review of it, because Fonta, I mean, they do great sours, and that's obviously what they're known for. But honestly, their lager program to me is just as good, if not better, than their sour program comparatively to other breweries. So I was really happy that they decided to actually package one. Scoot this up a little bit. So yeah, you can see it's pretty much amber, like a almost copper color. It's a light orange. It actually is a little hazy, which is interesting. You know, I guess that isn't necessarily a traditional lager character, but you know, I don't think Burial and Fonta are necessarily going for traditional German lager characteristics. They just want to make a good beer. So, let's see what we got in the nose. So the nose is, it's like dusty grains. You know, a little bit of like a dusty basement. So a tiny bit of caramel malt, some earthy hops. I mean, yeah, that honestly, I don't know that I'm drawing anything other than that. But that's, to me, if in a lager, that's what you want. You want something that's really clean, just like earthy hops and pale malt, or it doesn't have to be pale malt, but you know, clean malt, clean hops. It's a lager. It's supposed to be really clean. So. Yeah, that's pretty much what I remember having it. We're having it on top, or excuse me, on tap. It's almost like, in my opinion, a little under attenuated for a lager, which I have no problem with at all, because it's not very dry. It is a little sweet, but it's not like corn shitty lager sweet. It's there's just a little of a caramely sweetness to it. It is pretty grassy and a little bit of like maple leafy character to it. And then the thing that really interests me is there's almost something that comes that like that house yeast character that I get from all of their wild ales and saisons. It almost comes through in this beer too. It just it's not sour or funky. It just that taste is there, which is really interesting. Because to me this is the only beer I've had from them that was packaged that was supposed to be a completely clean beer. So that to me that's very interesting that they somehow have that house yeast floating into these lagers, but it's not. So I mean, I guess that goes to show that they have their own house taste that is separate from the wild yeast that they have. Because something to me, maybe I'm just used to drinking a bunch of their lagers on tap at the brewery, but excuse me. To me, something in this beer tastes like Fonta Flora that's in their wild beers, but it's not like it's infected or this is sour at all. I think it's attributed to the yeast, which I'd really like to know why that is. But again, that's the the local Fonta Flora, whatever it is, Fonta Flora. But yeah, it has a really earthy hop smell to it, but it is definitely has a balanced caramely sweetness. And it's before I moved down here, for the most part, I wasn't a big fan of lagers. I appreciated really good ones, but for the most part, it just wasn't my thing. But some of the stuff that these guys are doing, and even like Resident Culture, the PJ Party, their Pilsner, but especially Fonta, their lager program, in my opinion, is actually more impressive than their sour program. Because I really do like their sour program, but to me, there's other breweries in the U.S. that are doing it as good as they are. But some of their lagers that I've had, to be honest, I don't know that I've had better lagers than some of the stuff I've had from them. Granted, I'm getting it really fresh, and lagers are one thing that like you have to get fresh. So it might be that there's certain other ones that are just as good, but I'm just not getting them fresh enough. I mean, when I was in San Francisco, I got a bunch of Moonlight lagers that were fantastic, but just on a whole portfolio perspective, these guys are doing lagers better than anyone that I've ever lived close to. And again, these Brew Gentlemen, their lager program is starting up, and they've been doing fantastic stuff too, but it's not quite to the level of Fonta. So, sorry, I'm rambling on, but yeah, this is a really, 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 really great beer. Honestly, I like this better than 9 out of the 10 double IPAs that I've reviewed on here. I know that it's to a lot of people, lagers are boring, but this is just a fantastic beer. Again, this is a one-off, so it's hard for me to say, buy, drink, dump, because it's obviously a buy, but again, I don't know how much of it's left because it's a one-off. But if you somehow see it or someone's offering it, definitely get it if you're a lager fan. It's fantastic. It's just a super clean, easy to drink, slightly noble hop, earthy rye lager. It's just really, really good. So, yeah, I don't know if there's anything else I had to say about this guy. But I had fun doing this review. I can't wait to drink the rest of it. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks.